Hi, boys and girls, it's Mrs. Uvick, and this is our video for April 27th, the week of April 27th. And this is for our targets of identifying a very important part and identifying a main idea. All right, we're going to start with a quick review. Main idea. We talked about this as if you read something and someone asks you, what was it about? That's the main idea. The one topic, the one idea that the whole piece of writing is about. We're going to practice that today with something that you'll find on your Google Chromebook, in your Google Classroom or in the packet. It's an article from 100 Years of National Park Service. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. I'd like you to love it if you'd follow along, and then we'll talk about the main idea when we're done. 100 Years of the National Park Service. In August 2016, the National Park Service celebrated 100 years of caring for parks all over the country. During this time, the number of areas protected by the National Park Service has grown from 35 to over 400. National parks are special protected areas in nature. Park rangers and scientists look after the land, plants, and animals that live in the parks. The National Park Service also cares for sites that are special to history, such as battlefields. Without the National Park Service, many of these places would not exist as we know them today. The people who work for the National Parks and sites let me read that again. The people who work for National Park Service keep national parks and sites as they are for years to come. They look forward to another 100 years of caring for the country's most special places. Down here we have a little map graphic that shows some of the 59 national parks. There's some in California and Tennessee. Michigan has one national park. It's up here in the UP. It's called Isle Royal. All right, so let's get back to the article. What is the main idea? What was this article about? Hopefully I hear some good ideas. It's about the National Park Service. It's about the fact that the National Park Service has taken care of national parks for 100 years. That's a long time, since 1919. It's an older article, since 1916. So the main idea, everything in this article about the National Park Service. They talk about how long they've taken care of parks. They've talked about what they do, what kinds of national parks they have, and what the people at the National Park Service want to keep happening. So if I had to identify the main idea of this article, I would say the main idea of this article is the National Park Service takes care of the United States national parks and has done so for 100 years. Now let's talk about very important part. This article has lots of very important parts. And the very important part might be different depending on who you are and why you're reading. If you were reading about this and didn't know about national parks, a very important part might be what they are. National parks are special protected areas in nature. They have land and plants and animals. There's also national park sites that are history, like battlefields. So if you were unfamiliar, you did not know about the national parks, that might be important. If you knew about the national parks already, maybe the very important part is how long these people in the National Park Service have taken care of the parks. Okay? Maybe if you knew a lot of it, very important part might be that there's over 400 national parks in the United States. Very important part can be different to different people at different times. But to be a very important part, you have to be able to explain why that section, why those facts or details are important to you. Okay? So just in summary, real quick, main idea. After you read something and someone said, what's the main idea? You're going to tell them, what is it about? Okay? Main idea and details are usually an informational or nonfiction text. It's hard to have a main idea like in a fiction book like Mercy Watson or Magic Tree House. Main idea is usually for nonfiction, those things that are teaching us things or telling us information. All right. So, main idea, very important part. I hope that you'll work on those ideas this week with the pieces of reading that we gave you in our packets and in the Google Classroom. Have a good rest of the day and keep reading.